We're live.
Hey, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. If you joined us recently, there was some fun little stuff going on. Technology hates me today, but what doesn't hate us is Survivor Wisconsin New Blood Episode 8, the penultimate episode. All right,
Heck
so unless some of you guys want to say, I think we should just get right into it, right?
Let's go right into it, baby.
It's good to see the chat working. Sorry for the inconvenience.
A lot of fun stuff tonight. We're going to talk about the breakdown. Our special guest will ask questions for him. And we will also have a lot of fun other things we're going to start off with. One thing being fan voting is now open for this season. Those should be in the description. Go vote. Whoever you want to vote is open until next week, Wednesday. We're at the live reunion. It will be revealed. So there's not really a lot of challenge content to talk about. One thing that I will say, I did really like that there was some really good content regarding the jury, such as like Natalie, Maris, and Kira. After they get voted off, we get to see kind of them go back to the little Ponderosa area and talk, which I do think was a very important little thing to show. I do think it really can show what the jury's thinking of. The jury is definitely the one who decides who wins at the end of the game. So I 100% think it's really great that we did get to see a lot of what we're thinking of and that we were able to get this footage. And I really do like the fact that we kind of see into their minds, because some of our seasons we get to see it. Sometimes we don't. So, anything you guys want to say about that or...
Thank you for filming those little Ponderosa treks. Yeah, no, I agree. It's a lot of fun content to see. Thank you.
Yeah,
of course. I'm really glad I got that for you guys.
Yeah, I do like Ben's comment. Yeah, just Natalie keeps on throwing Kira's name out there like she's like the villain of like the All Girls Alliance. That's crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't say I blame Natalie for being upset still. I mean, I do think it's kind of I do think it was kind of a funny little thing, though, and we kind of see a lot of these fun conversations. Even before the challenge, Kira is definitely, like, her departure is definitely bringing kind of some shock to the group, where a lot of people are back and forth, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. So without further ado, unless there's something you guys really want to say about it, because I do think Tyler was very interesting, how he kind of immediately takes... I don't want to say takes responsibility for that move, but he's like the first one to kind of stand up and say like, that was a big move needed to happen. She played 2 idols. She played a great game. And I'm kind of like, do you want to do that right after Tribal, Tyler?
Yeah, it's better to get off your back and just kind of, take the hits way before anything happens, Like, it's easier to get it out then than having it be brought up during the talking phase. So, it's better to get it off, just get your words off before the challenge, because it was a decently long challenge as well. So people might have forgotten that you made that move. So
fair enough. Steib, anything you have to say about it?
No, not really. I did see a question in the chat though. Maddie's asking why I'm wearing the sunglasses, and just to be quick about it. I don't know. It's more of it's a shyness sort of thing because my eyes like to wander and I struggle with making eye contact. So typically whenever I have sunglasses, I just feel a little calmer, less anxious.
Alrighty. So without further ado, I think we should talk about the challenge because this is a fun challenge that I really like. I love that we haven't seen this one in a while because, or at least for me, it makes it really fun to see again. This is a challenge I won in Fans versus Favorites all the way back in my heyday when I was like 20 pounds thinner as well. Essentially, the challenge is each player has to stand on 1 foot, hold a weight above their head. They can't like have it 90 degrees. They can't like their arm like this, And if they fail to stand on 1 foot, or if they fail to hold the weight above their head, that's not like if they do it like this, it doesn't count. But if they do it like
if they go like below like 90 degrees, kind of they're out.
Like 90 degrees or like that, So
yeah, it was more of a judgment call by production to kind of take him out. But thankfully, no one had to get actually taken out of the game because of production. So it was a good note. It was a good challenge.
Yeah, it was a good challenge. As I was about to say, if they fail to stand 1 foot or hold the weight, they're out. Last one standing wins immunity. 1 in 5 shot at winning the game. Losers Tribal Council, where someone will become the 9th person voted out of the game and the 5th member of the jury. I hope it's a 9th. I was a communications major, not a math major. Do not sue me if I am wrong. I hope to God I am right. Just basic things before we talk about who won the challenge. I love this challenge. It is a fun challenge. Like I said, I do think it's fun that we get to see certain challenges we haven't seen in a while, and that everything's being paced really well, and there's not like, the same thing over and over and over. It is really fun when we do get to see stuff like this. Also, Ben, yes, that was Christian, the legend, Christian Davis.
Welcome, Christian.
Welcome, Christian.
Thanks for being here.
We finally get to see you here tonight. We missed you, man. Christian, I hope you get that for more for Corey. If you haven't watched the other live streams, you won't get that, Christian. All right, so I love this challenge. It's a fun little challenge. Ooh.
Holy leaks, man.
Some little pokes.
Okay.
Just a little sneak.
We'll definitely talk about this
sneak
later. Bring it up later on and remind me, because there's you're gonna be hyped, man.
Peel back that curtain. Hell yeah.
All right, so I love this challenge. Really fun. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I want it. I will say, I feel like it was a little easier for them, just in the fact that when I did this, it was me versus Dolphin Sam for like 10 minutes straight, 10 pounds over our head, not 5. So like 10 pounds, not 5. They had 5, we had 10. So like I was like struggling. I was like, oh, like I still think I couldn't feel my arm for like at least a day after. It was super funny, but kind of love Rich.
Nothing's funnier than pain. Am I right?
I'm really excited though. What happened in this challenge. So before we reveal who won the challenge, Aleks, Steib, what are your guys' thoughts about the challenge?
Yeah, I like it. It's a good mix-up because it's better than seeing like constant puzzles after puzzles after puzzles. We get a lot more endurance and physical challenges this season, which is a good mix-up because a couple of seasons we've been kind of having like the same rotation, and it's like, okay, yeah, we kind of see what's going on here, but now like it's cool to see like different challenges kind of being brought back, some challenges being introduced that are also physical and endurance. So it's pretty cool seeing kind of a good mix up between challenges, post merge and pre merge.
All right, Steib, what do you have to say about all of this?
I absolutely love the challenge, and I gotta say, I'm glad we switched to 5-pound plates because, oh my god, it sounds like 10-pound plates must have been hell. So more power to you, Rich Dog.
I'm built different, like.
But I gotta say though, I do love endurance comps the most when it comes to the normal game of Survivor. So for us to have one like that, I think that's fantastic. I love seeing John's stone face reaction, just not moving. I love seeing Ben jumping around like a goddamn jumping jack. It was great to see. And I was doing that. I was holding that weight up during the tribal later on, and I was holding that up and balancing on one foot, and that was tough. I was starting to feel it in all my arms and legs. But yeah, the key is to just suck it up and just deal with the pain and worry about making yourself safe. That's what's most important.
I definitely agree with that. Also, thank you for that little compliment before. I actually was listening, believe it or not. But I shit you not. That was a very hard challenge. I do love that challenge because it is fun, but like it is hard, I think this is the first time we've done it with 5 pounds, from my knowledge. Unless I missed something, I could very well have forgotten something possibly.
I think 5 pounds like the good sweet spot because there was people struggling, and then there was people like just kind of being statues. So it was a good right balance with 5
John
pounds.
V in the chat, and so is Matty Ice. Ooh, chat's blowing up. Hell yeah!
Up in here today. Damn.
Thanks for being here.
We're happy you guys are all here. We really appreciate all the views, the comments. I'm definitely trying to get everyone to not miss anyone.
Asking the real questions right here. Where's Nicholas?
He was here last time. Hopefully he's here, or hopefully he shows up.
Hopefully, yeah. We like Nicholas. He's cool. So, without further ado, is there anything else you guys will have to say about this challenge before we reveal who won the challenge?
No, I'll add more after you reveal the winner.
Yeah.
All All right, so the winner of this challenge is...
Okay, go ahead, just say it.
John. 1 individual immunity, 1 in 5 shot. Everyone else, tribal council, someone's getting voted out. And John winning here, I feel like it's really good for his game because he's basically his name between, obviously we talked about the last couple live streams, his name is the one being taken on the most, like, I don't want to say he's taking on the most fire or flames, but like he's the one that's constantly being talked about the most. He's the one that's constantly getting thrown out the most. And like, I mean, I honest to God really think it's really good for him. He's getting an opportunity to. However, as we kind of see more of his allies keep going out, even if he gets his way one round, the next round he may not seem to get his way. So who really knows if this will benefit him in the long run? But, you know, it's what you do when you have immunity. So unless you guys have anything you want to say about John before we talk about...
Yeah, I'll talk more about all the competitors now since we kind of rebuilt who won. I found it so hilarious just having Ben just struggle, and then we just pan to John just being like a statue, even though it's like the same 5 pounds. It's just kind of funny how like the whole like, you know, human, you know, like we're all human, but like this is just kind of funny how like one guy can just be as still as a statue and they're just hopping around struggling. But you know it just kind of it's just kind of fun to see, you know, that happen. Like it doesn't take a lot of skill or anything, but it's just fun. It's kind of how the human condition works like that. So, you know, and then the Rebecca having to say, "Oh, dude, I need to get my other arm," so she goes back with the left arm.
Yeah, I respect that. Why not keep the pain equal, balance and everything like Thanos?
Yeah, so that was hilarious. But yeah, no, it's a good competition. John B winning is huge for him because now Taylor has the super idols, so they're both safe. So it's gonna be kind of interesting going into tribal, like how it's all gonna go down. But like that's really great for both of them.
All right, before I say anything else, Matt was asking when a special guest coming. We'll bring them on a little bit right after we talk about tribal council. We're gonna try to get this faster so we can make sure we get this guest in because, you know, I feel bad that last time took a little longer than we hoped for, but we are definitely going to get this person on as soon as possible. ETA, definitely soon.
Probably 25 minutes.
We'll give it like 4 business days, guys. How about that?
Are we placing any bets?
You know, like what's the over under?
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you guys have to say about the challenge before we go? Because one thing I will say, Rebecca, like I do think it's kind of funny. I did almost forget to talk about that, but that would be a funny one. But I do want to say flat out that Rebecca doing this, I think it's kind of fun, a fun moment for Rebecca. I think if it was like anyone else doing it, they would have looked at this person and been like, oh, this person's like a threat now, you know, like. Rebecca, I think, was able to get away with this because it's Rebecca, but, like, if I did something like this, people would have gotten annoyed with me and been like, Richie, shut up. If, like, Adam Frelka, one of our past players that did this, just for fun, they would have looked at him and been like, oh, he can still go. He's strong. You know, like, I'm probably not saying it as the best of what I could say, but, yeah, I do think it's really, I do think it was kind of a fun moment for Rebecca, though. Rebecca is definitely, we're getting a lot more Rebecca content, and I'm really glad for that. So, Steib, anything you have to say about challenge stuff or anything before we get to what happened after the challenge?
Christian Davis in the chat says no challenge talk, and I think when he says challenge, I think he refers to the challenge Wisconsin. Feel free to subscribe to it on YouTube. Hello.
I am not facilitating talks with that right now. If people want to talk about it, you know,
all right, moving on.
We'll move on.
But no, just to add on to the end, yeah, more of what y'all have already said. It's a big win for John V, and I think it's kind of a metaphor for the game he's been playing because he's been playing a fantastic game, of course, but he's just standing there on one leg with the weight over his head, just sitting there with a stone face. He's just vibing, and he's been vibing this whole way, and he's been making a lot of big moves and a lot of big plays. So, yeah, shouts out to John.
Yeah, totally. Now we get into our talking phase where there's a lot of stuff going down. And my favorite talk is pretty early on where John goes to Rebecca trying to see if she would flip to vote out Tyler. And all she says is like, it's gonna be a 3-3 vote if we all just vote, who we're gonna vote for. So why not flip? And then she says, "No, man, let's go to Rocks." And it's like, I've never heard anybody so adamant about going to Rocks, but just because it's Rebecca, it is so funny because just because she's a very quirky person. Just heard it, yeah, dude, let's go to Rocks.
Right.
And like that was literally like the whole theme of this episode is like, are we gonna go to Rocks or not at Tribal? And
Right.
it is go ahead.
Sorry, you go.
No, you're fine. I just can't. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say Rebecca kind of being very adamant about this throughout the episode. It's like you never want to go to Rocks. Like, I kind of feel like she was doing it borderline for the meme, but it's also like, no, because then that could blow back on you unless you are in the tie. So, like, Rebecca kind of doing this, I was kind of like, Rebecca, no, like, no, like, the fact that she kept, like, I do think it kind of made her a little endearing to other people as she kept, like, kind of happily campaigning for it. Maybe they'd look at her as like, well, so carefree, but at the same time, if you're actively wanting to go for Rocks, it's not going to make you look the best to other people. Like, if she said that to me, I would have looked at her and been like, are you fucking insane? I word for word would have told that to her, because it's like, why would you want to go for Rocks? And it's like, I almost thought at first, like, maybe she's playing like 4D chess and she's getting PCs telling this to people with the intention of like, oh, if I tell them I'm going to Rocks, and they'll break it up out of fear. But like, no, she genuinely wanted to go to Rocks.
Yeah.
Steib, what do you have to say about this?
I think it's an interesting idea to just speak that out into the universe and into the minds of your 5 remaining competitors. But it's also a show of loyalty, because we really do have 3 original Booley and 3 original Vuku left. And they all try to remain fairly loyal. But at the end of the day, something's got to break, and somebody's loyalty's got to break, and somebody's going to have to step up and make that move for themselves to go farther.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so we did have a lot more talks. Aleks, do you want to go next with it? Because you seem to be leading it on pretty good before.
Yeah, so just due to John winning and knowing that not knowing, like, I don't know, he wanted to make a move, of course, and he was trying to get someone to flip, of course. So it was just kind of funny seeing this, like, John's just kind of roller coaster of a game kind of go up and down, because sure he wanted immunity, but he just cannot get the numbers on his side at like any point really during this game, it feels like. But John was trying so hard to get the numbers on his side as well. But we do see something cool with Maddie kind of forming this final 3 deal with Rebecca and Taylor. And that was cool to see, because Maddie wasn't really a big strategist kind of going into this game. She was more of a social game, a social butterfly kind of going into this game. But now in this like final 6 scenario here, she really put in the work, and she did a really good job putting in the work to get what she wanted to happen. And it was a really, really cool scene with her and Rebecca just saying, like, hey, right now is the best time to do it. Why not?
The girls' alliance coming back up.
Yeah, right. So that was a really cool scene to see. Tyler wasn't really a big focal point in this episode. He was just kind of coasting down now, because after that big play, he didn't really want to go back to back probably. So I really understand that, but he was still trying to get his name off the docket as well. And Tyler is again playing a really great game. And he knows when to rise and then kind of when to go back underneath for a bit. So that was a really good job by him, kind of keeping his name off the ballot. And I'll stop there right now, and someone can take over.
Yeah, I just kind of want to comment on that, because I think you were talking a little bit about John, and it's like, yeah, I kind of felt bad for him this episode, because it's like, literally, I think it was Rebecca said it to him pretty quickly, like, yeah, like, some of the votes are going to Ben, and then, like, John's like, oh, because, like, he's like, I just lost my number 1 in Kira, don't make me lose my next number 1 in Ben, and he even, I think, at one point was trying to, like, campaign for them to work together, and just, like, And I do think it's funny that people are still like, I think we talked about this last episode where people were like, John and Taylor are 2 of 6, so that's going to be more of the votes. They're not thinking like, they're all like, well, they're not a threat. We can just decide they're not a threat. Like, that talk comes up again.
Yeah.
But it's like, that could, like, if they let them both through, that's 2 of 5. That's 40% of the votes remaining right there. So it's like.
But also, they might think, if they just take them both to the finals, that's kind of one jury vote. Because in theory, like if one gets on the jury, they'll probably vote for, the other. So they might be thinking like, if they're both in the finals,
Right.
I might get a bit more votes towards me because they might think that they play the same game kind of because they're couples, which is not really true because they're both playing different games.
Well, right, I was about to say, but I forgot my point. Steib, while I remember my point, what do you have to say about all of this?
It's very interesting. It was a very interesting strategy section of this penultimate episode of the season. And at the end of the day, even with only 6 people, only with 6 competitors left in the game, there's still plenty of alliances to be developed and to be used to push yourself further in this game. It seems like the gentlemen in the remaining 6 were focusing on staying tribe strong, but the 3 ladies, however, they decided to unite, and they were able to make some key moves in this next tribal, and it's very fun to see them working together and putting their numbers together and using the information and the plans of other alliances to their advantage.
Yeah, and the thing I just remembered about what I was going to say before I pass on to Steib for a second is that they could say like, oh, well, one of them could just get to the final 3 or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But technically, one of them could just win out to the end. And we still don't know what, I mean, because every now and then, Survivor Wisconsin season, Survivor Whitewater season, some of them have had those little final 4 things where they like to have it where it's like the person wins immunity, takes a person with them, the other 2 do a little challenge, and the loser's out. Who's to say they won't do that again here? We know, but you guys don't. So who's to say they won't just pull that back out for this season of all newbies? I don't know, but well, I do know, but who's to say? Like, that's like the mindset they should be having. Like, what if there's the off chance that does come up? I hate those little things, and I hope they don't come back up. But again, that should always be like something you could think of. Like, you never want to take the chance of that risk happening. You always want to make it better safe than sorry. So them being very much like, like, let's just, they're not a big threat, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, that's A, 40% of the votes, and B, they're both have shown they can win challenges. So do you really want to take that risk? I don't know. So that's what I was going to say before about everything entirely. So, Aleks, I'll pass it back to you to talk about the next few talking points.
Can we take a break and talk about what's being dropped in the chat right now by Christian?
Ooh. Christian bombs right now. Holy crap.
Logos for the next 3
Forget
seasons.
the Ben bombs. We had Christian bombs coming in the chat.
Chris Bomb.
Chris Bomb, yeah.
This cast have been crazy.
Right, dude. We're getting the whole feast out here. Holy crap.
Is it Thanksgiving?
It's a smorgasbord.
Exactly.
That's what we should call the title of this breakdown,
Back to the talking.
Yes.
I want to put out Taylor as well, because, again, she's vulnerable again. Nobody knows she has the super idol either. And yet she's not being painted as a target again. She's still flying under the radar. She's doing a way better job right now than Tyler is kind of being the under the radar person. But no, she's a really good competitor and she's a really good social strategist as well. And people are just not really pointing that out. And it's like this is, again, there's still a couple in the game. But like, you're not pointing out Taylor. Like, sure, she was, in conversations, being like, hey, let's vote out Taylor, but like, nothing was really done about it either. It was still the whole like, are we going for Rebecca or are we going for Ben?
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna mention that. Like, I do think that's a really interesting point of it too. Is that Taylor not once has been seen as like a massive target. Despite the fact that, again, her name is not being thrown out. She's managing her connections well, from what we're seeing at least.
Not one cast against her at all. during
right.
the
Yeah. And she still has her super idol, which this was the last round she could use it on.
Yeah.
So coming into the finale, she can't really do shit with it, but it's like she was safe regardless of whether or not she won immunity. So Taylor basically securing herself safety in one way or another. And
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of see later on that it definitely, like, she doesn't even need to rely on it. She doesn't even need to tell anyone she has it. So I think that's really good for Taylor. She's definitely showcasing herself to be a very good social player. And again, the game is a very social game. And Taylor, I think, is playing her cards right from what we're seeing so far. Whether or not she does it later on in the future, who knows? We have yet to see that. But because especially those last few rounds of the game go so fast that you don't always have the most time. Some of these are quick second decisions. You don't have as much time to talk as some of the earlier rounds. So, yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing is she is just very calm, you know. She is just talking straight, does not really, get caught up or like anything like that. She is just a straight, calm, that's why she is so good at playing the under the radar game, because she's not, frantically, searching for idols or just like kind of scrambling. She's just, joining into conversations and just kind of saying like, okay, my name might be on the table. Let's flip the vote a bit. So very good gameplay right now by her. Even though even though we don't see much of her really this episode, she did a really good job again evading, getting her name tossed out there, and good gameplay.
Steib, you want to add on to what we're saying, or?
Yeah, just more of the same. Taylor is playing a fantastic game right now, and it's Survivor is almost in a way similar to a poker game, because you have to have your own information and you have to be able to keep a cool face about it and not give away what you got. And right now she has all the cards. She still has that super idol that even if she weren't to need to use it, it's the super idol. You can use it after votes are read. That's huge. It's really a win-win for her. So yes, shouts out to Taylor as well. She's playing a hell of a game.
So did you just say Survivor's like poker? Yeah, I think we all know how to do in poker then. Okay.
Hardly know her.
I was about to say, I suck at poker probably, but
is there anything else we want to talk about before we go to tribal at all?
Was that the last big talking point?
There wasn't a lot other than, is it going to be a rock jaw or is somebody going to flip?
Right.
Really? That's really the biggest thing.
I just want to point out that Maddie's definitely kind of in the middle of that, I feel like. We kind of see her throughout the episode be like the middle, like she has the power to decide if it will or won't go to it. So, and even right before Tribal Council, Ben talks to Tyler. I forgot if anyone touched on this point right before Tribal, Ben and Tyler.
Go ahead.
So Ben goes up to Tyler, shows him the idol nullifier wrapped up in the little cloth, like wrapped up in this little type of cloth. He's like, it's an idol. It's an idol. He like barely flashed out of his pocket like this. He's like,
yeah.
And then like at Tribal Council, we get to Tribal Council. They're still talking. Tyler's talking to Ben. He's like, hey, do you want to show me your idol? And he's like, it's right here. It's here. Like keeping the nullifier wrapped up. It's like, it's here. It's here. But then it's like, I thought that was a whole funny sequence right there, but I feel like outside of that, not much really happened to Tribal that we can talk about before we get to the votes and all that, right?
It was a hilarious sequence, and yeah, I'm glad we got that on film, and I'm glad Ben went for it. And maybe in another attempt at Survivor Wisconsin, he could try to maybe like be a little more, I don't know, I don't know, but there's got to be a way to finesse people into believing like, oh shoot, maybe he does have something, because as we saw later on in the Tribal Council itself, some people are skeptical about whether Ben even has a legit idol.
Right. And it's like, that is something where it's like, if you have an idol, you just gotta, if you're in that position that Ben's in, your name's coming out, you gotta kind of just borderline show the idol at that point, just because of the fact that it's like, you're at risk. I would have just showed it off and said like, you know what? I have it. Then again, he probably would have held on to it and would have been smart enough to not, maybe he would have scared people off if he just showed it and put it on. I would have showed it, put it on, and then played it just to be safe. And I probably would have looked like an idiot doing it. So, I'll give that to him.
Or he could have just kind of flashed the idol nullifier maybe and just be like, hey, right here's the idol. Nobody probably knows what it looks like, or if it says the idol nullifier like written on it, maybe. I don't know what it looked like. So
if it's it's obvious.
I think it was like a card that said like idol nullifier on it, if I recall correctly. So like I think it would have been. It had it written on it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Next time it shouldn't be written on it. It should just be like like an emblem kind of thing, just so that they could use it as like a fake idol. Future,
fair enough.
Maybe in the future.
All right. So anything else we have to say about tribal, the votes, whatever, before we get to the vote reveal?
No, it was just Ben's bluff of the idol, really, which was his chain they took off way before the game even started, which is kind of funny. But no, it was just that, just a general talking points. I think it was nothing really too big. It was just about our tribe's gonna stay aligned, or is someone gonna flip, and we'll get right into that.
All right. So without further ado, the 9th person vote off, Survivor Wisconsin, new blood, 5th member of our jury, Aleks, unenthusiastic like always. Ben voted out, and this is such a sad vote off. Even Maddie kind of flips in them because she's like, I'm not going to rock. So
yeah.
No, but what will make me a little happier is bringing out our special guest. So please welcome Ben.
What's up, everyone? What's up?
Ben, it's great to see you. How the hell are you?
It's wonderful to be here. Oh, actually, fuck this. Nah. Fuck that. How about this?
Here we go.
All right, let's get started.
He's here. He's live.
Let's get started. I'm live. I'm rowdy.
Reppin' Booley. I love it.
Always, baby.
Here we go.
Always reppin' Booley. So definitely we have a couple questions we want to talk to you.
Oh, I'm sure.
All right. So, Ben, obviously you were so close to making it to the end. Looking back and kind of like in the moment when you got voted out, did you think you were going to win when you got to the end, like in the mindset of the game?
So you see in my exit interview that I did say like, oh, if I made the end, I was going to win. But watching it back and upon doing like my own personal reflection after I played, I came to realize that I was strategically on the right side of like one vote maybe. And like, I guess technically I voted correctly on the Amaris vote, but everybody voted for Amaris. And like Amaris was actually with me. So that was like not good for my game at all. So like, was I out there and like probably the biggest personality? Yes. However, I think being at the end with pretty much anybody there that was still left at the final 6, I think any of them could have like made really good points against you strategically in a final tribal. It would have just been up to if they're able to articulate it well. That's one area where I think I am stronger than anybody is articulating myself. I would really confidently tell you about conveniently the good things about my game and ignore the bad ones. But I don't know. I had a good shot. I mean, I'm a big talker, obviously.
Here we go.
Hell yeah. Great answer. Thank you.
What's next?
I got a question.
You muted it, Doug. Aleks, go ahead.
Yeah. So going way back into like the early merge, if you're looking back now, would you have tried to flip to the old Vuku tribe, or just just think about it now because of how the numbers are kind of now?
Yeah.
In favor of the old Vuku, would you have tried to flip early on and try to team up with the Vuku and still kind of be with the old Bulai and just kind of like play the middle, or like would you just still be with like the solid old Bulai still going into the
merge? It's really tough because like on the old tribe, I personally believe that I was the best positioned out of that whole group, and I don't normally like to play the like tribe versus tribe game due to like how strong I feel I can be socially. Playing the middle usually actually is what I try to do, but I was so well positioned in the original tribe that for me, it actually, while it's boring, it made the most sense for that whole group to stay together. Yeah. However, you saw me try to do something with Tyler, Obviously, I tried like multiple times and it never worked. But I was trying to lay those foundations for like when the group inevitably turns on itself, because I could already see the tension between like Maris and John. I could already see the tension. I knew that like Zach and Kira were like probably the furthest apart of anybody on our original tribe. And so I like, you're right, Maddie. I tried to do something with Tyler. It didn't work, but I was laying the groundwork for when stuff fell apart inevitably. Now, and with perfect hindsight, all the information, the person I actually should have gone to is, funnily enough, is Rebecca, because as she's expressed multiple times, she was actually the most down to just like do something fun, do something funny. And I think we actually could have worked something out, but obviously it's obviously I need to try harder. It's in hindsight, that's what I would have done, but there was no way to know that at the time.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right. I also think it was really funny that despite the fact I thought I was unmuted, I wasn't, but I think it's funny that Aleks, you still knew exactly what I was trying to ask. So, you're good at reading lips. You're good at well, it's also
that was my question for the whole thing right there. I didn't read your mind at all. I was just.
Well, you're psychic, Aleks.
I guess
so.
Can you predict what I'm going to ask you to ask?
I think I got a question for Ben. And it also relates to this comment from Devin. Can't believe you turned on him, Maddie. # fake friends. That's quite a statement from our executive producer. Thank you. So my question actually relates to that, because I would like you to describe your initial reactions once you discovered that once the votes had fallen 4-2 and you were eliminated, it was actually Maddie who was the one who cast you out. And I'd just like to hear your initial thoughts and how that influences your perspective on the game that she's playing.
Yeah, so what's really interesting is that Maddie's the first person that I built an alliance with. Like, we were walking, we were like at our tribe and we're like doing the like hee hee ha ha, everyone talking to each other. And then as we're walking to the challenge, it's the first time I like have a chance to just like kind of walk a little bit faster and be next to her. So I turn to her and I'm like, hey, like you and me, like we're good, we're locked. And so I felt really good about Maddie. You see, she expresses that in her confessional in the first episode when Annika throws out my name, like I don't want to vote off Ben. I felt really good about that relationship. I felt so good about it, in fact, that we would go rounds at a time without talking to each other. And just, I didn't worry about it. And I don't think she worried about it either. Obviously, like Maddie turned on me here. I don't think I ever would have turned on her for 2 reasons. Number one, I felt really good about the relationship we were building. Number two, I felt like we actually played a very similar game, but just like due to the fact that I was on fucking crack and being like really loud and crazy, I could probably beat her at a final tribal. It's not even a discredit to the game she was playing at all. But I did get concerned when I saw, you even see me clock it in the episode. I saw her walk off with Rebecca and I'm like, that's sus as fuck. Like, that is fucking suspicious. And then she's like hee hee ha ha with Tyler, who at this point I finally figured out has been lying to me. It only took like 4 fucking rounds. And so I was actually not surprised that it was Maddie who flipped on me once it went to 4-2. And the last conversation we had, she was like, dude, this motherfucker was acting so sus. Like, she would not make eye contact with me. We would like always laugh in our conversations and she wasn't laughing. I'm like, God damn, bro, I'm so cooked. Like, I knew I was cooked. And I was not surprised because John and I just felt locked, even though he was like pissed when I was spreading shit about him and Taylor, whatever. I knew we were locked.
Yeah. Okay.
Hell yeah. Fantastic answer. Thank you.
So one thing I do want to ask you, you guys will have the opportunity to ask Ben more questions in a little bit once we get through some announcements. So Ben, one more question I have for you for now is, looking back, without spoiling anything that happens the rest of the season, are there any regrets you have looking back?
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to say in hindsight, right? The one thing that a decision that I almost made that I decided not to was to use the Idol Nullifier at the merge against Rebecca. I think if I use the Idol Nullifier against Rebecca there, Zach stays in. Zach was so chaotic, but I felt so good with him that I could have I felt like once he was gone, I sucked up all of the like chaotic space that was left.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. And I mean, literally in the next episode. Right. And I think Zach being in really would have, it just would have helped my game a ton. It really would have helped me a lot. because I think other people were sussed out by him and I wasn't at all. And so I do regret that because I like literally almost did it and then was like, nah. And I mean, I'll give myself a little credit in that I was able to hold on to it until Final 6 when it expired. Obviously, it ended up really not meaning anything at that point, but that was the goal. I was like, I would love to make it to Final 6 and then use it in case I'm in a sticky situation. And if I did like somehow have the votes, like maybe, but overall, no. I mean, like my goal was to have fun and I had a blast. So not that many regrets.
That's really great to hear. I mean, we're glad to hear it. So, so we do have a couple announcements I do want to make. As I mentioned before, I want to remind everyone, fan voting is now open. There's a lot of very fun stuff you can vote on. I'm not going to talk too much into it because I want you to go find out yourself. And the results of the polls will be revealed next week, Wednesday, at the live reunion. Some other current announcements. Survivor Wisconsin 8 is still currently casting for their next season, August 16th.
Oh, it's backwards. Fuck.
No, it's gonna mark for you.
Ben for fan fave if you can't read.
There we go.
Yeah, it looks good on the YouTube end.
Yeah.
All right, so season 8, we are casting a link to the fan favorite poll, a link to the fan polls, and a link to the casting application for next season is on the description underneath there. And I think we should definitely talk about our players of the episode. So Ben, you're definitely more than welcome to join in on this one too, as long as there's no spoilers for the rest of the season. So I will go first and say my player of the episode. My player of the episode for this episode definitely has to be Maddie. I do think Maddie played this round really good.
Yeah.
He definitely was more than aware what was going on around her. She even had control over it. Like, she was the deciding vote, I think that's kind of enough said right there. So, Aleks, who is your player of the episode?
It's between two people. I will give my honorable mention first. Taylor did a really good job of, again, evading another vote off, even though she was technically vulnerable, without people knowing that she, because she did have this bridal bully. Again, no one knew that, so she was technically vulnerable to the other cast members, but still kind of evading even getting a single vote. Again, even though they're like a couple still. So, and her name was thrown out there, but again, my pick is also Maddie. That's a really good flip at a good time. Now she has numbers on her side going into the finals, and again, really good. Just knowing when to flip, and she did a really good job at flipping. So, yeah.
Steib?
Yeah, Steib.
I will take the floor. No, I gotta say I agree with y'all on all your picks thus far, and I've gotta say my pick for player of the episode is gonna be Taylor. She may not have won the immunity competition, however, she was still able to continue playing the low-key game that she is and continuing to evade the heat at the right times, especially when she's vulnerable, or at least vulnerable in the sense of the general tribe. And she still has that super idol, and she didn't use it. I'm pretty sure it expires at 6. So now we're down to our final 5. So
she wasn't going to save me with that shit. So
yeah, that's true. And yeah, it really was a win-win. If she did need to save herself or somebody, she could have. So she played a fantastic episode. So yeah, that's my pick.
All right, and then Ben.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to honorable mention to Tyler for once again making me feel like maybe I could trust him, and once again proving me wrong and making me look like an idiot. But I'm actually gonna also have to give my player of the episode to Maddie. She, was able to maintain this relationship with me while simultaneously building a relationship with the people that I directly distrusted, and really set herself up well to succeed, whether she went with me or with the other side. And I think that's indicative of a smart player. It's also indicative of someone that I don't think I would work with again in the future. But she killed it. Can't hate. Good game.
Alrighty then. That's really great. Thank you guys for all of that. So before we get into the fun little announcements and any of our last questions for the breakdown, there is something fun I want to put out there. The finale is next episode. It'll be on Monday, July 7th, same time, same channel. And I will give a little preview for it. We have reached the final 5 with relationships and alliances put to the test in the endgame as we gear up for the epic conclusion of New Blood.
Gonna be exciting.
It's going to be a really exciting finale, guys. So tune in for that next week, Monday, July 7th. Same time as always. And then stay tuned for a live breakdown after that finale airs. And then stay tuned for the live finale next week, Wednesday. All right?
There we go.
Let's hear, is there any other announcements that the Peanut Gallery wishes?
Any announcements? Any questions for Ben?
Any hot takes? Any controversial statements about the game thus far going into the final 5? Who are we favorite? Who do we have as the favorite to win?
Blake.
Yeah, I agree. Blake's playing a very under-radar game. John
and
B.
absolutely go to the fan vote in the description or on our Instagram at Idol Identifiers.
Vote.
And vote for me. Vote for me as the best breakdown host.
And vote for Ben for most calm.
Yes.
Christian says, what do you want to know? Tell us it all.
Would you like to know, Weather Boy? What is it?
Right?
Right, I
don't
want to know.
The announcement is me and Corey Davis are fighting, sparring, 5 rounds.
So Whitewater Twist Manor.
Wait, is this bullshit or is this?
Twist Manor has been casted in second chance.
Well,
I know it's not me. Like, we all know it's not me, so.
Well, you're saying my favorite season has 2 returns? Just kidding.
There's 2 from Twist Manor?
No, just 1.
No, just 1.
I was thinking about the other season. I forget. No. But my favorite season gets a returnee. Look at that.
Excuse me, I just burped. Has anybody been keeping a tally of all of these? Because I have definitely not been keeping track.
There's now Twist Manor, Winter War, Battle Royale,
Wisconsin 1.
Wisconsin 1, Summer Solstice.
One World.
Curse, One World 2. Was there Captain's Curse?
I
thought there was like 2-3 weeks ago. I might be wrong.
I know. I need Amelia back on my screen, so I hope.
It might have. Yeah, I think there was.
Yes, I've been.
I think there was an announcement for Captain's Curse, and then I think this season as well got one right now. If I'm not wrong.
Better be Will, bro. That man was robbed.
Yep. I think Aleks would probably agree with you on that, wouldn't you, Aleks?
Dude, man, Will was a character and a half. Gone too soon.
For real.
That's actually such a bummer. I mean, it's like my fault, but it's such a bummer.
No, it was the fault of the random draw. I can't believe we got 4 out of 5 people swapped to the opposite tribe, and they kept majority.
That's fucked.
That's insane, though. The next 5
crazy odds.
Oh, yeah, let me get to that.
Like
Whitewater versus Wisconsin. I would love to do that, but if you want to see me get voted off first again, then sure.
So let's do it. Let's do it.
Aleks, shut the hell up. I'm going to mute you.
Logos made
for the next 5 seasons have been locked in stone today. Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Okay. Logos made for 8 to 10. Meetings were happening.
Done. Yeah, Lee.
I wouldn't be on that. Oh, okay.
Huge lore drop on the screen.
Yeah, right, dude. Dude, they've been cooking in the fucking kitchen at Idol Identifiers fucking crazy stuff right now.
How many people have been casted, Devin?
Idol Identifier. I hardly know her.
Thank you, Ben.
There we go.
Got him.
I said All Stars.
All right, let's get some questions in the chat.
Yeah, let's get some more info and questions, guys. Bring us some questions.
I got lots to say.
He's
Here's
got
one
lots
thing
to
I'll
say.
say. Here's one thing I'll say. I saw Mr. Matty Ice and John V talking in the chat.
That is
that
something.
would be a crazy alliance.
Yeah.
That is two motherfuckers that love to cause chaos right there.
Random idea
about it,
placement. Duos your partner on the other tribe with someone with their same placement from a different season.
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting, actually.
Pretty interesting. I think that'd be
Your
kind of
partner in a
fun.
tribe with someone with your same placement business. Oh, that's really cool, John.
So whoever took 6th for you.
Who else has come in 6th place?
Yeah.
Caitlin from last season. Aleks, you were a couple seasons ago.
Yep.
Emma, it's gonna be a trivia question on
Oh.
this next time I come on. I can
Emma.
guarantee you this. It's gonna be some shit like this. Emma, Kyle Shield twice, and then Wisconsin won. It was Brienne, I believe, after she got back in the game.
All right, that's a pretty good group. Maybe we'll make a group chat.
There we go.
Maybe.
Yeah, you know, we'll move on because I could probably be here all night trying to remember.
Yeah.
and
All
do
right,
that.
let's
Yeah,
go to the next
you would.
question. Let's go to the next question.
Laggy, that's what I was thinking of. Sorry. Next question's from Devin. If you played again, Ben,
And
what would you change?
What would I change? I mean, obviously, specifically, I talked about like the I don't nullifier, but I think in general, like from a big picture gameplay perspective, I think just like calm the fuck down. Like obviously, I had a blast, and I still think I made it far. Like I did. I was 2 votes away from being there, but I was 3. But I would just like calm down because eventually I was focusing so much on being funny that I kind of lost the trail strategically, which is okay because it was a blast. But next time I would calm down a little bit.
You know, Ben, it's like you need to be a character. You know, that's why I learned helps you get brought back. Be the funny man.
We'll see, dude.
All right. Christian asks, who was a better player, Matty Ice or John V?
Well, there's a larger sample size with Matt, and to be fair, in Cabin Fever, he got like so fucked by like dumb shit. But I like not even his fault. But I don't know. They're very different because like what Matt does in one world is like pretty impressive. But then you also see what happened in Evolution, and it's like, which one are you gonna get? But I think they're both capable of being really awesome players, and they're both a lot of fun to watch. And John was a blast to play with. I'm sure Matt would be as well.
I will say, from playing an Evolution with Matt, I actually I know we had our back and forth in there, but I actually was hoping he would have made it like a lot deeper.
You played an Evolution?
Yeah, an Evolution. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, just because of the fact that it's like I was trying to warn him and everyone else in Evolution. He did get annoyed with me for that. But he basically, like, the big thing though is I was trying to talk to everyone there and be like, hey, like the winners are gonna take over. And I think if I recall correctly, he did try to at least like go for the former winners, if I recall correctly, like the bigger names associated with the former winners. So like Matt,
I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. I'm still listening.
You're good. I did feel bad for Matt, and I was just all like, damn, like, 'cause I actually was hoping he would have made it a little further on to like, I don't know, like I do think Matt's underrated. Matt and John, I feel like, are definitely, I don't know, I feel like John's a little underrated in some ways, and Matt's definitely underrated. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys have to say about John V and Matty Ice up to this point from what we've seen?
Well, if you look at my comments, that's kind of
Sorry,
my
I'm back.
thought on it.
Aleks says, oh, I'm kidding.
Yeah. But yeah, again, John V is like a really good, good character, while Matt's just there for just, the whole, spectacle. He really owned the One World, season. That season's not as good as it is without Matt.
Survivor Matt. That's what he said.
Exactly.
Episode 1.
Damn right.
So, like, yeah, Matt's pretty close, but like John V overall is just still like a really great player. So you can't really, compare. It's like, two different people, but like kind of, under like kind of like the same umbrella, but like still, it's John V is still like the better player overall, but Matt's just so much more entertaining to watch.
It's a dream match. Yeah, it really is.
Because he can just go and
You muted, bro, or did I lose the audio?
I can't hear you, Aleks.
I think you muted yourself, bro.
Aleks, check your mic.
Not me. You mean him?
Steib,
Mike
do you want to answer the question?
Testing. Are we back?
Okay,
Back?
he is back.
Oh.
Oh, you're back, bro.
Hey, Mike's back on. Sorry.
That's fine. But yeah, just finishing up. Again, they're two different players. But Matt's just a lot more just random on what he does. I feel like, but yeah,
This
two great
motherfucker
players.
Matt addicted to the skiing. He's addicted to the skiing lifestyle. I love
right.
it.
Moving on.
Steib, do you want to answer this question before we move on?
No, just more of the same. I think it would be a dream match to see those two play together. It would be quite.
Or against each other, who knows?
It would be quite explosive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, and they could win a lot together. Even that would be a dynamic duo. But no, I got nothing else to add. It would be fun to see them though.
Oh, yeah,
That'd
totally.
be awesome.
Devin says, calm and chaos are definitely the ways to play the game. I think I
I'm
responded
both.
to it before.
Please vote me for most calm.
Yes,
Kind of
most
like Richie
common
and
easily
fans
Ben.
was his favorite in Twist Manor. And very lovely comment. The over-under on a Richie vote up is 3.5 rounds. Did you actually do the math on that, you bitch?
No. I just guessed, just kind of what you told me. That's
It
kind of
sounds about right. Not gonna lie.
That's a very good line. I can probably agree with that.
6'2".
Dude, I must have a terrible placement average.
Here's a fun question for you, Aleks. It's from Devin. Aleks, do you think you've done enough in an all-star season?
If I'm thinking about, returning, I'm not coming back for a second chance, of course. I've played 3 times. Heroes versus villains, I'm not really a hero or a villain. I'm kind of that middle ground person. So I was thinking the least, the more easier one to say is oh yeah, look at all-stars. There you go. So if not, there's always another time. But I'm just here for the fun of it. So if I get cast on a season, I'll play my best, and if I don't, I don't. I'm not gonna be mad or anything about it. I'll probably just be filming it anyways. But yeah, either or.
Christian
I'm done
asks,
with whatever.
is Ben just Matty Ice and John V as one person?
No, because I'm not a good liar like they are.
Yeah, Ben is too truthful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Natalie.
Listen. Outside of the teacher thing, which okay, objectively is a lie. I actually don't think I lied the whole rest of the season.
Yeah, you don't even lie a lie. Sure, you lied a little bit, but you had to. But you were pretty honest.
You were even honest with Natalie about voting for her.
Obviously, I was, because she was fucking throwing my name at her.
Yeah.
Obviously, bro.
I know we're voting for each other. That was my favorite line. We need to make
And what's actually hilarious is she was not voting for me at that point. Because at one point, even Taylor goes up to, I think it was Maris, and is the only person I heard Ben's name from was Ben. She was right. She was right, bro. But no, I don't know, because I think me and Matty Ice are entertaining in different ways. He's entertaining because he's I don't know if is cheeky a good word for it, or scheming.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. I'm just on fucking cocaine. It seems like.
You got some?
And John V. I mean, that man is way colder than I am. He's way cooler than me too. So I don't think I don't know. It's up to y'all to decide.
Look at Maddie's comment because it is so funny.
What did Maddie say? Take a shot every time Ben adds a new accessory. Amen, sister.
We got some wild comments in the chat. Thank you all for being here watching us live. Sorry about the technical difficulties before, but we're glad you're here. We've had a hell of a breakdown so far, and we've had plenty of announcements, and we hope you're tuned in for Monday for the season finale.
Oh, I'm hyped. I'm seated.
All right, next question comes from Devin. Each of you name a person you would love to play with that you haven't played with before.
Liz.
And some to it. Richie only one play.
Liz, Summer Solstice. She seems like the coolest person on earth.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that season and I was like, this motherfucker is so cool. She seems like so much fun to hang out with. Liz is my answer.
Someone's trying to blow up my damn spot.
Trying to think here.
This is actually a really hard question.
I like that laugh.
I've played with pretty much like a majority of these people, but most of them also do that. So, Steib, you said you wanted to go next?
Yeah. This is an easy answer, but it's true. It's got to be you, Devin. I would love to play with you. I think you could be Shaq to my Kobe, and I think we could run this game, to be honest.
You're such a kiss ass. Joke.
I try.
I would say somebody from this season I would like to play with. It would probably be Tyler. Yeah.
Who just had the Android ringtone go off? Well, actually,
that was my work phone.
Not me. I
thought it was not the work phone.
Yeah. That was my work phone. I forgot to
turn that shit off. No,
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Aleks,
no.
Survivor time, not work time. You shut that off.
It's always work
We
time.
are hard at work right now, breaking it down.
Phrasing, boom.
Yeah, I'll play Tyler for sure. You know, we kind of share like the same vibe. I feel like so.
I can give a second answer.
That's a good choice.
Too.
I love how Christian emphasizes saying only one player. I'm gonna probably sound like a kiss ass saying this, but I'd love to play with you, Ben. Like it'd be so much fun to play with you.
Hell yeah!
It'd be a blast, and you know I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yes,
I hope
that's
to
true.
God you wouldn't, because I wouldn't be lying. Like I'm a horrible liar, so like I would not be able to lie. So
I think my other answer would be I think Emma would actually be really fun too. She seems like
she's super nice. I will say.
Yeah, well, she seems like super nice. Has like a really good mind for the game. Like the times I've watched her, she has pretty good reads, and I think really understands it. And I think we would really connect on that. So I think Emma would be my other answer.
Yeah, she's a very good player.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
I was gonna give another answer, someone from the Whitewater side of it. I know he said only one, but if I had to pick someone else from Whitewater,
Dude, you're the only rule we have in this question.
Well, that's why I'm gonna say. That's why I'm gonna just mention it. That like I think it would really be fun to play with Giselle because I've heard a lot of that. She's like I've heard a lot of good things about how she's a fun player to play with in the game. So
I'll play with Adam Falco too because we were in a marketing project together once. Fun fact.
Cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to play marketing. I also saw this. I'm not even touching this. I've said my thoughts in the past. I'm not getting into this because I do not want to spend 20 minutes talking about how I am right with this. And I will not then. This is one of the few. Okay. I'm autistically stubborn with certain things. This is one of them. I will not fight with this because I do not have the energy to deal with
I'm ready to sit here for 15
So,
minutes talking about how Liz is. I am on Devin and Christian's side. She is not a villain.
and now you are muted.
Dude,
She's not.
I don't think she told a single.
Hashtag free Aleks in the chat.
Yep. Let's
Stop
get that
coming,
trending.
Okay, Adam got Idol nullified by Richie. Well, thank you for bringing up like the only actual good thing I did in the game.
Thanks, Christian.
He was so okay. Granted, I did not react to that well. I kind of did like the Chris thing in Vanuatu. I think it was when Alaska got voted off. He's all like, and I kind of did that to Adam when I don't know if I'd him out and fans versus favorites, and he was so mad. It was, and I will say this again: we did not have an alliance then. I don't know why he kept telling everyone we were aligned. We were not aligned. So,
Sounds
voted my ass. Like, yeah, I did. Well, yeah, like we were even out. Like he got me voted out twice. So like, so I love this time in a podcast where it's Richie's story time. I get a drink. Yeah, Aleks, how about you get a drink every time I mention some bullshit that happened to me in another season? You'd be drunk.
I would be on the ground. Just
take a shot.
We would be poisoned.
Yeah, I would be dead.
No,
Stop.
Put that shit away, bro.
No, put it down.
Put that shit away, bro.
Yeah, Christian, take a shot. Maddie, take a shot.
Let me put it back. Actually, I don't want to like.
There we go.
That was like.
Cheers. Here's my water.
Here's my cup of Gatorade.
Here is my water because I'm choosing healthy until Saturday, where I will get hammered.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, dude. Maddie's just seeing doubles right now, I guess.
Is she actually?
Maddie getting crunk in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin.
on a Wednesday night. Hell yeah.
No,
We
no
need
better
to
time.
make a
Looking
challenge,
forward.
like how many shots we can do. Make like a what was it called, Beer Olympics or whatever it's called.
It
I
is
think they did
Wednesday,
that.
my dudes.
They did that after like
Like I said,
Whitewater ended. They did like a
honestly.
Beer Olympics, and it sounded so much fun.
All right. Well,
Getting
All right,
leashed on this thing is crazy.
Okay, wait. Is there any other
Time for the kennel.
questions people want to send over to us? Like, give us any questions, any of our past seasons. We're just not going to spoil what happens in the finale of this season.
I'm an open book, my friends.
it was all a dream.
It was all a dream.
This never happened.
I wish Kira was here. Kira's not in the chat tonight. It's
Yeah,
breaking
right.
my heart.
Oh my gosh, she's not in the chat tonight. Aw.
Ben, who would you not want to play with that you have?
That's a good one.
All right. Love you, girl, but if I play with Natalie again, she's obviously going to target me right away. So Natalie is my answer. Oh, that I haven't.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
shit.
haven't.
Oh,
That I haven't.
yeah.
That's why I try to highlight this.
Okay, well now I'm double cooked. I still would not like to play with Natalie again, only because she would target me, not because I dislike her as a person.
Of course,
In fact, we had a wonderful
but-
time chatting at the bar after the season. We had a wonderful time. That I haven't played with, that I don't want to play with. Let's see. Somebody that I watch them play, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, I just like this motherfucker would like cook the shit out of me. Is Cody? He's like seems like an awesome dude. He's just like so fucking good at the game. I'm like, oh my god, you are.
Amen.
Like I actually like. I would simultaneously love and hate to play with him because I would want to team up with him because it's like better to be with that dude than against him. But like, oh my god, that's so scary. He just seems so naturally good at it. But he's a great dude.
Coming from someone who played with him twice, he is a phenomenal player. He's a super nice guy, but if he wants your ass out, he will get your ass out. One of the things I do think is cool with Cody, he's one of the few players who's played like so many times, every single time he's made the jury. So like he's such a great player. So I'd love to play with him again, but would he want to play with me again? I don't know. I'd love to play with Cody.
Who knows?
Oh, he's a
Who knows?
right. He knows, but we don't. Cody's such a nice guy, though.
man.
I will agree with that. He's like one of the nicest guys I've met through any of my Survivor seasons, and I'm so glad I got to play with him twice. He
Yeah,
put up
seems-
with my
seems
ass
cool.
on the jury, so like I call him jury buddy on my phone because he put up with my obnoxious ass on the Legends jury because I was bitter. So thank you for that, Cody, and I apologize for that.
All right, what's next? What's next?
Yeah, I'm excited to highlight this, and then I'll get to the next question.
Your
Devin
favorite
asks,
moment
Ben,
watching
what was your
back?
favorite moment of the season for you watching back, not necessarily in the moment playing? So obviously,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, the answers to both parts of those are the same, and it is the entirety of episode 6, where like the 25 minutes in between me just like telling Natalie that I know we're voting for each other to sprinting over to Tyler and telling him the huge news and going to Tribal and screaming her name, and then Maddie telling me Kira found the idol, and then Kira playing the idol on me, and then jumping up and down in front of everybody. Like, I did not give a flying fuck. I literally did not give a flying fuck what anybody thought. And that is the point where I decided, you know what? My chances of winning this are pretty slim. Let me just have a blast. And I thought, like, what's crazy about that, though, is that then I didn't get any votes at Final 8. That is, like, the most ridiculous thing of all time. The fact that it was a double tribal would have been so easy to just vote me off. I don't know how that happened. Like, I'm not going to sit here and claim some type of, like, strategic mastermind moment. I don't know what happened. I'm not, like, that good at the game. So, I don't know. But that's my answer. And tonight, actually, the me in the background, like, why you voted for me, bro, to Tyler, I thought was pretty funny, too.
funny. Oh wow, I got a question from Christian. Richie, who would you say is your arch nemesis in all Survivor lore, and why? Give top 3.
I'm in the top 3 for sure.
Can I guess one? Hey, you give it first. I'll tell you if it was
Okay. Aleks, I will disappoint you again and say that You were not even close. You're at like the complete opposite spectrum. Who is my top 3? I don't think I've given this an order.
Jasper.
No, not even close. I don't hate Jasper. No, he's a nice guy outside the game. Actually, we don't talk, but like he's a really nice guy outside the game. So,
Matt.
Vin would have to be one of them because, Vin would be one of them because it's like I don't hate him at all, but apparently he hates me. So it's like he still shit talks me, and I don't know why. Because like we're not in high school anymore. Like I don't hate the guy at all. I think he's a cool guy. So, Let me think. Who else would I put in that top 3?
Liz. Would Liz be in your top 3?
I don't hate Vin, Christian. I don't hate Vin, you know? Like, I don't. Yeah, the only reason he's even in there is because I know he doesn't like me, so by default. Other top 3. Yeah, I probably do agree with you, Christian. One of them probably is my... We've had such a weird, like, I feel like Survivor, like, outside the game, I think we're okay. Like, we barely talk, but when we do, like, we're not, like, clawing each other's throats. But, like, Michael Garcia and I have had such a wild, which actually brings me to say, you haven't watched any of our past seasons, go watch them. You can get to know the lore I'm talking about. Yeah, you get to know, like,
Michael Garcia was quite a highlight of the Whitewater seasons.
You know, so,
Adam's got to be there, right?
I haven't thought about the third one actually. Wow, this is a really good one. All Survivor lore, Arch. The third one in that list. I'm trying to be nice because I don't want to be mean to people. Like, even though I'm a bitch, I don't want to be mean to people. The third person in this list would be Zach from Evolution. Because, I shit you not.
Out of left field.
No. This is what gets me mad. He got mad. I did not want to vote for Aleks. He threw his little temper tantrum. Was like, Richie fucked up the challenge. We need to get him out. He's detrimental to our tribe. Like, bitch, I actually did some more stuff in 2 rounds in a game than you did for like 6 to 8. The fuck you mean I screwed it up for everyone? Like, I swear to God, he was such a lapdog the entire game too. Sorry, Sorry, Zach. I don't want to be mean, but you were a lapdog the entire game.
You're not watching this. I can guarantee you that.
I don't care. Like, I don't want to be mean. I know I'm being mean. I don't like being mean. I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to work on being a better person the last couple of years, but like he annoyed me so much.
Aren't we all?
Watch it back because I was trying to do stuff for that challenge, and you start saying that I'm ruining every challenge. I wasn't even at the parts that we almost lost both challenges at. We barely won that first challenge. I almost wanted to jump into that puzzle the first challenge. I was convinced they were throwing it. Like, I get so heated up. The thing that gets me really mad about
You're
that.
passionate. You're passionate.
I am very passionate, and that's what gets me mad when I see someone waltz to the end by doing jack shit. That's why if you watch Legends, when I give my little jury speech, my little song and dance, and piss everyone off doing it, that's why I was so annoyed, because I felt like so many people were not as passionate about the game as others were, and like, I don't know. There's a lot. I could probably mention more in the lore, but like Zach annoyed the living shit out of me because I just really did not fucking. Don't lie, Adam. I really don't hate Adam. I'm not gonna lie. Like, or is it Haley Twist? Yeah, go watch my season of the challenge. Actually, it's kind of a funny follow up.
Richie, do you feel like you have room to improve in the challenges?
Yeah, I definitely can. Like, honest to God, I think a lot of the challenges I've gotten the last couple times I played have not really been like. They haven't really been like my forte. I think I've definitely gone to the gym a lot more the last few years.
Okay,
I've definitely been trying to work out, you know. Like, ooh, I can bench like 225 now. I think the thing with me,
I mean, you beat me in the challenge we did tonight. I can promise you that.
If I did that now, it'd probably be different. But if it did, yeah.
Fast. Let's get to some questions. Let's get some more questions.
Okay,
next time we bring it back.
The top one, because the most. Maddie asks, Ben, what is your ideal challenge? Like one you think you would 100% win?
A 5K. I would beat anybody there running a 5K.
You beat me, I'll tell you that much.
Guys, I ran the Madison Marathon, and I purposely brought a different water bottle because I didn't want people to know that. Because I didn't want them to be like, oh, he's going to be a beast. Because, by the way, I'm not fucking coordinated at all. You can see it in the fucking challenge where I get beat by 2 people. Like, Becca and Atticus both beat me in that throwing. Like, throwing, catching, whatever. Like, I'm cooked. But
running.
Running far, and I'm a pretty fast sprinter too for like really short. But a 5K, I would win 100%. And now I know how to do a slide puzzle. Bet your ass, I looked it up.
Hell yeah.
I will say to that comment, I made so many jokes that day because it was killing me. Like, I'm not like the best at slide puzzles, but I think I literally saw it when I was on the post-swap Blue Eye. So not the one you were on, but the other one. I saw the move that they needed to do, and it was I every 5 again, like I think Steib, you mentioned it a few weeks ago. We could have taken a shot for every time I looked at you and said, like, I know how to solve this. Like, I was getting so like you're good. I was like so like
hell yeah, you were.
Me because like I like puzzles. I'm not like a puzzle god. I'm not like the best in the world at puzzles. I think I'm pretty good at puzzles, depending on what they are. Cabin Fever definitely helped me with that statement and support it. I'm not the best at puzzles. But I do like puzzles, so it's like when I saw that slide puzzle and saw how long it took for everyone to get it, I'm like, dear God, like. Which is funny we're talking about slide puzzles because Devin asks, should we bring back the slide puzzle for season 8?
Yes.
Maybe not that one, but we could bring back a different one. Like maybe there's got to be like a different kind of slide puzzle out there that we could do.
I have an idea. So the way I would do the same like 2 slide puzzles. If we did do the same 2 slide puzzles, obviously I don't know if we'd want to do it back-to-back seasons. But the thing I would think of if we did, just do 13, 14, 15, and then that little tile that's supposed to like represent 16, the piece you take out that's a blank space. Put that in there, take 12 out, have that be the new blank space, and then make it a 3x4 instead of a 4x4.
I lost the plot, but I'm sure it would be awesome.
Like, I mean, just solidify the bottom row, because that's what they struggle with the most. And then it's a little quicker, but it's still challenging, because you have that blank space. So I'm probably not making sense with it. If people get what I'm talking about.
I trust your vision. What's
I totally zoned out, but you got it.
What's the next question?
Oh, sorry. Let me scroll down. There's a lot of them. Maddie asks, Ben, which player from actual Survivor would you say mirrors your game the most?
Rick Devens. He was not really that on top of things strategically, but he sure made a fucking show out of it.
I think that's a fair comparison, honestly. Yes, good answer.
There we go.
Christian said, Richie, you're lying. You always go after Adam. Okay, I will say with this. Legends, I was only going after Adam because I was told by multiple people. I was told by people pregame before Legends, like a month and a half before. Apparently from what I heard, I was the last one to pregame of the original 27 called for Legends. And I was told Adam was gunning for me because he was pissed at me for fans versus favorites still after 6 months. And that's why I was so paranoid in Legends, because I heard like he got a bunch of people like pregame to commit to an alliance that says we're going to vote him out first or second or whatever it was, and that they were going to get me out as fast as they could. That's why I was so paranoid. Wisconsin won. I genuinely tried to work with him, and Wisconsin won. I genuinely did try to work with them. Wisconsin won. I even tried to create an alliance. It was me, Ness, Dakota, and him. I called it the Winter War Alliance, and it just did not stick. You know, I really like. He goes after me more than vice versa. Despite what people want to believe, he actually has gone for me more than vice versa. Like, so, let me think.
Everyone says it's Penner in the chat for me, not Rick Devens. I mean, yes, obviously that moment was inspired by him. However, I feel that Penner has a little bit. I guess we're similar too in that we both cause like chaos too. Like we really don't give a flying fuck about pissing anyone off. But I think he's got a bit more strategic acumen than I do. But I'll take the compliment.
Rich Dog is definitely comp beast. Christian responded to that saying, "Go watch season 7, Survivor Whitewire. Fans versus favorites. Richie's a challenge beast. It's kind of scary." Thanks, Christian. It's not like I was trying to get people to forget that for a while, Christian. I'm joking.
What's next? What we got next?
What is one challenge from this season so far that y'all want to be seen in season 8?
Oh, let's see. Good
Maybe
question.
bring back the first challenge.
I mean, I think the obviously like I'm biased because I won, but I think the social put the ball in the bin. What maybe not even that specifically, but like a different variation of that, I just think is really interesting because it can demonstrate social dynamics. So yeah.
I definitely want to bounce off of that. Definitely like it's similar to this challenge, but a different challenge. Touchy subjects. I think we haven't done touchy subjects exactly in a long while. It's basically almost exactly like that, just maybe a little different, but It's like, again, like that challenge we just did, touchy subjects, those are kind of like the fun challenges. I agree with that 100%. It's always fun to see the social dynamics borderline exposed. If you play your cards the right way, you don't have to expose anything about yourself, but someone always exposes something. So, Steib, Aleks, what do you guys have to say about this?
Yeah. Well, my answer was going to be the first challenge that was this season with the spinning the bat. So that was a really good, starting challenge.
That was a fun challenge.
The famous Natalie GIF moment. Is that what you're talking about? We just call it like Natalie's fall. That's what the challenge should just be called in the future. Natalie's graceful fall. Steib?
All right, which question were we on? I'm seeing the whole log of questions that we have in the chat. We're pretty backlogged. Thank you all for being here and asking the questions.
Let's go to the next one.
As far as a challenge from this season, I would love to see handball again, but I would love to see it a little extended, maybe more than 2 points next time, and also maybe buy one of those catchers chest plates and get some protection for the goalie.
I can't fucking say.
Get a foam shield. Get one of those foam plastic shields.
Yeah.
John says, Ben, let's do Spartan race together.
I'm there, dude. I'm there. Give me a date and time. I'm there.
Christian asks, Steib, if you had a dream alliance, who would it be?
Yeah, I was thinking about that one for a while because that one's been in the chat for a while. And I feel like it's going to have to be me aligned with a lot of powerful players from past seasons that I didn't exactly build any relationships with, but people that I admire with their gameplay. So I'd probably put myself in a dream alliance with Hunter, considering he's won this game in the past, and he's a comp beast, a social beast. He's the total package, and I'd probably I'll just have a dream team of 3. My third man would probably be Matt Essman, Matty Ice, and I think he could be the shit stirrer of the group, and he could certainly make his own big moves to secure not only his safety but also potentially ours. So that would be my answer. Me, Hunter, and Matty Ice.
Smart.
All right. So I have to fast forward through a lot of comments to get to the questions and catch up. Sorry if I missed your guys' comments. Next question says, Aleks versus Richie, who's better and why only Steib and Ben get to vote?
Fuck.
Well, I can only go off of what I've watched, and I've unfortunately not watched Fans versus Favorites yet. And I have watched Captain's Curse. And so I'm so sorry, Richie, but I got to go with the numbers here, and I think the answer is Aleks.
I've been read between the lines.
I don't do that. I'm just telling the truth, as always.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm joking with you. Steib, just say what you're going to say. I already know it. I'm the Survivor psychic bitch.
I'm going to have to give my vote to Richie, honestly.
Oh!
Holy.
Yeah. No, I think he's one hell of an entertaining player.
Okay, wow. Thank you. Wow.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I missed that.
I said, like, the crystal ball lied to me before is what I said. Damn.
Your crystal ball is full of shit.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, I can't say that joke on live stream. I actually am going to stop myself.
That's why I wear the sunglasses. I'm like a poker player.
Devin asks, Aleks, has there been anything from this season you think you've learned that you can bring if you play again?
Yeah, so, my first season I came off way too strong. I pinned Nate and Corey against each other, and that left me in a very vulnerable spot, and I got voted up pretty early. Second season, I just got kind of screwed over based off tribe dynamics coming into an instant vote, so I couldn't really strategize at all. Third season, I did a lot of, again, really heavy gameplay early on, and I could have, gone further if I didn't play my Idol and Steib, but I was just kind of bored and just kind of wanted to make a big move.
It was an awesome play.
Yeah, it was a fantastic move.
Yeah, good. I'll play on Steib, see what happens. But
I should have voted for Mike Stock
early on. Like that is like what I've learned, and just kind of playing more like Tyler and Taylor. Playing very under the radar game, but I'm 6'2". I'm pretty huge. You really can't, like, not see me in the game,
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah, so like it's hard, but like just kind of playing more under the radar and just kind of coasting in the pre-merge and just winning competitions. But yeah, that's all.
All right, John
I
asked
agree with all that.
John asked a really fun question, random question, but there used to be a Battle of the Networks show where TV stars would face off in a range of sports, like a field day. Do you think we could get a Wisconsin field day with teams and jerseys? I know I haven't watched it. I know the show you're talking about. That would definitely be something that I think would be really fun to do, honestly. Like,
Yeah, that sounds fun
really
as hell.
fun to do. Like, that would be fun. I don't know. I can't make any guarantees. If no one does do it, I'll try to. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll try to do it if no one else does. Like, this sounds fun. So
We'll call it
so hard that my background thinks it's the Blur.
Honestly.
Amy Lynn asks, have you done a blood versus water game? Survivor Whitewater, Christian says it too. Survivor Whitewater, season 8, blood versus water. Claims it's one of the best, if not the funniest. It's definitely a funny season for sure. Yeah, we did do blood versus water back in the Whitewater days. I've said numerous times before, blood versus water 2 would be so much fun. I would love to be in like the casting room. If I'm not playing blood versus water 2, I'd like to be in the casting room floor and like be able to kind of help like decide like which people we'd look at, or at least like help like the conversations go through and like be a part of that and say like, oh, I think like this person could be really fun. We brought this person in, but fun fact about blood versus water, I actually was someone in production on that. I was one who helped divide the tribes, and I was the one who had an advantage Leah. There's an advantage Leah gets that I was actually the one who came up with that. So yeah, I thought it was fun. Just wanted to kind of say that. Take a shot, then changed again. Devin says, yeah, it's top 3 ever. Blood vs. Water was Whitewater 8 season, Amy. I'd love to do Blood vs. Water 2. I think that'd be so much fun if we did that with some of the Wisconsin newbies we've had. So
it's possible.
It is possible. Yeah, we have a lot of people. It is possible. Maddie, Ben's trying to kill me with all these accessory changes. Take a shot, Maddie. Take a shot. He did it again. Take a shot.
Oh, this fuck.
Maddie, you and Ben need to come back to our area. We need to all go drinking again. We'll get like Kira. We'll get the whole gang back. Get the whole like damn dirty
hashtag fake friends for life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can go out drinking, but I'm not working with her again.
Oh, we need to set that up. Then we need to schedule for all of us to go drinking again. That was so much fun. Get the whole cast.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice,
Maddie,
shame on you.
Done enough already. Trying to vote him off. Chris, that is so. Oh, that was you. Okay.
Wow, okay, well, fuck
wait
you,
for. Oh, okay. Luca's gonna lead the next Avengers. Alex's brother. He's gonna change a narrative and actually win. Okay, believe it or not, I still think you could win, Aleks.
I could. I just can't play so carelessly.
Right, but you are a good player.
Same.
I said that before. You are a good player. Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like, I
well,
do think you have. Well,
I
right, not like me. You know how to keep your mouth shut, and that's like a big part of it. So I do think you sell yourself short way too often, Aleks. So I know you hate compliments, but
Yeah. All right.
Any last minute questions?
I think we are ready to close it out now.
Okay, so
we said all of our,
Okay, so again, a couple last minute announcements and reminders. The new Blood fan polls are open now. They close next week, Wednesday. Go vote on them. Additionally, the finale will be next week, Monday, July 7th. There will be a live breakdown following it. Same time, same channel. Next week, Wednesday. There will be a live reunion. Watch cast come back, reunite, and see what they have to say and what had gotten and who had won what fan awards. I cannot speak today. All right.
Ben from OSCOM.
Well said.
Yeah, vote.
Birthday to Ben on July 5th. Happy birthday.
That is my birthday on July 5th. Who said that?
Also, season 8 casting is open now. Go apply, go play, go apply now for Survivor. So it's a really fun time. Whether or not you played in the LRG or not.
It was the best time ever. It was the best time ever.
Great job, boys. So much fun tonight. Thank you. Much appreciated.
All right.
Another long, yeah, that was really nice. And tell me you don't like, yeah, okay, one last thing I will say. I would love to see Lita, Joe, and JP come back. I think I've said this before. I don't know if they'd ever want to come back. Last I heard, they probably weren't really wanting to at the time. Oh, this was a few years ago. Lita, Joe, and JP are so nice. They're just so cool. I'd love to see them come back and play. So,
Amy Lynn, play. Maybe I'll get Ruth to play too.
Amy Lynn says, I want to play. Definitely play, Amy. You want to play? Apply now for Survivor.
Go on Instagram or contact Devin. He'll get you on.
We have a link to our application. It should be in the description of this live stream right now. So, unless anyone else has anything they want to add or comment onto it,
No.
that is it. That is our live stream tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, stay tuned for the live finale next week and the live breakdown that will come for it. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks for Ben for coming out. You know,
Thank you, Ben, for joining us. You were a fantastic guest.
Go watch your past seasons, guys.
Peace out.